ahead and get it cracking right there, YouTube. Let's make sure the anchor in here good. We cracking, we locked and loaded. What's good, world? It's your boy Mastermind Mine, and this is a special review game. I've been waiting to come in here and review, baby. This is it, man. Listen, man, y'all be sure to follow me on for the main shows. Real Gamer on all podcast platforms. We are here, we there, we everywhere. Mastermind RGTV on YouTube and Master 23 Mind on Twitch. Man, listen, man. We in here today to talk about some Resident Evil 4 remake. And man, have I been having a blast with this game. This is the full review. I'm gonna be back in here talking about this talking about this game several times. So you may see maybe 2 or 3 segments for this show. I'm gonna try not to make this first segment too long, because if y'all been following me from day zero playing Resident Evil 4 when it first dropped, y'all know even here on the podcast, I even took a little break on the main shows or whatever. I've been so busy and got a lot of stuff going on, man. But in behind the lines, behind the scenes, I've been playing some Resident Evil 4. And if y'all follow me heavy on Twitch, Master 23 Mind at Twitch, we've been playing live, and YouTube, Mastermind RGTV. Listen, man, this game, I've been waiting for this game for quite some time, and for those that listen to the show, the main shows, I've been rooting for a remake for Resident Evil 4 forever and forever. Like when we first started the podcast years ago. So, you know, this is one of my favorite games, I have to say, of all time. I'm just waiting for a Final Fantasy X, but you know what I'm saying? This game has been so amazing, and I think one of the best remake games. Hear what I said? Remake, not a remaster. They tried to pull off a slightly remaster of Resident Evil 4. You know what I'm saying? But it's nothing like the remake. This remake has been a masterpiece of how to make a remake game. Let's dive. We're going to be diving deep into a lot of different topics. Story mode. Of course, you kind of know it's already the same, but we're going to talk a little bit about it. Graphics, even controls, and just gameplay, overall gameplay, period, and different modes or whatnot. Now, I'm also be talking a little bit about mercenary mode, also a little bit too. For any spoilers or anything, spoilers alert, this is the full review, so you may hear some things I may be talking about here in the show with this first segment about the game, and you might not like it. So yeah, if you're in for spoilers, you know, it is what it is. But first thing I want to say, I want to kind of talk about the bad first, because it's so much good. I feel like I can really give the game a 10 out of 10. But the only reason a couple of problems I had with this game. One of the biggest things that's definitely a noticeable drive is the motion blur. I had a really big issue with motion blur. I'm going to play through. Hold on one second. See if y'all follow me on YouTube, y'all already know what's up. So I'm finna pull up a video. Podcast world, follow my audio people, man. Y'all be sure to follow me on YouTube, Mastermind RGTV. Y'all can see the clip I'm finna talk about, the graphics and everything for a second. Let's play a video. So if you can see, like, one of the biggest problems is like the motion blur. As you can see, you can't really see too much, and it's not really noticeable when you're streaming the game, mostly. But when you're in a situation to where you're playing, the motion blur is definitely noticeable. So y'all might not notice it if you're viewing it right now, third person point of view from YouTube or whatever. But when I'm live, you may not even notice it then. But when you actually play the game yourself, and the motion blur, like, yo, it's noticeable. It's something that they really need to fix, because it's like the frame rate drops really heavy, and it's like crazy. It's really noticeable. That was one of my pet peeves of the games. 2, performance wise, really dope. I know I said I was going to talk about bad things first, but it's almost hard to really kind of criticize this game, because this is one of my fan favorites. This is one of my favorites of all time. And 2, I'm just happy that we even got to experience a game like this and all together. I'm trying to think of some more bad stuff, man, because I got so much good to say. Really, the motion blur is one of my biggest pet peeves. Um, I wish they would have added. I haven't beat the game yet, so I'm like right in the middle of close to the end of beating the game, but I really wish they would have expanded a little bit more, added more stuff to the story. They did add a little bit extra stuff to it. I just kind of wish they would have made it a little bit longer and gave us more stuff that we never seen before. Um, and even give us hints of something at the end of the game they probably did about Resident Evil 5. Hey, maybe we can get, how God of War in 2018 they ended the game, when we beat the first God of War. Thor show up at the door. We just know we was getting Ragnarok. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that even though with the Resident Evil storylines, we already know how the story. This is a remake. This is an old story, so we already know how the story and everything goes. But I think for also when games is in that phase of a remake, they need to also introduce new things to the remake universe, even if that's adding on something to the universe, the story and everything, perhaps. What I mean by that, more details and context of basically like if we can get at the end of this Resident Evil 4 remake a cutscene of something that we didn't see on 4 that's leading up to Resident Evil 5 and hints that we may get a Resident Evil 5 remake, something like that, I think will bring adding to a element game like Resident Evil 4 remake would have been spectacular. I haven't beat the game yet, so I'm not sure if it's some type of crazy ending or what I'm trying to explain would be dope for the game franchise overall. But if they would have added something like that, I promise you that would have just add more value onto the game. Um, Another thing, I had an issue. Of course, you're gonna have this issue with Resident Evil. It's like they put you in moments to where you run out of awkward moments with ammo. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to it. It's Resident Evil, of course. They love doing you like that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's really challenging, but sometimes it's like, yo, come on, y'all know darn well I can't handle the situation that I'm in, but we always end up handling the situation that we're in. So it's a fun challenge, but sometimes it's like really annoying. You know what I'm saying? That was one of my that not necessarily something, you know what I'm saying, a bad thing, but just looking at different things throughout the game. Now, moving on to the good stuff. I probably come along with some more bad stuff a little bit later on, but the good things. The graphics. Even on performance mode, the game still looks good. Resolution mode, detail wise, amazing. Um, of course, y'all know I do hold PS5, the technology that we got. I do hold these things to a very high standard. I I can't say I expect it, but I know the graphics can be better than this. Um, you know what I'm saying, with the upgrade or anything like that. I can see them sending out a upgrade patch, possibly, possibly. I'm just future speaking at the moment of things I foresee or want for PlayStation to do or the franchise or whatever to do, especially with the technology that's in the PlayStation 5. Basically, I can see them sending out a patch. You know what I'm saying? That would improve frame rate, that would improve resolution mode for graphics or something like that in the future. But they did an amazing job with the graphics. You can see the details through Leon hair. Now there was a couple parts. So if you look right here, let me make sure we're playing this at full 1080p and everything. Yeah, we are. Yeah. So it's a couple things through the game. You notice a lot of like dark spots, um, but it's not like crazy bad. But it's noticeable. That's one of those things. But other than that, like the shadow lighting and things in the game is beautiful. Like coming from I gotta remind y'all, like I had this game on Resident Evil. GameCube back in the day. So to see the GameCube version, I wish I had like a comparison up. I have the old version around here somewhere. I'm gonna find my old post when I was posting my Resident Evil games. I'm gonna find my old post, but I wish I had like a comparison chart up here on whatnot. But to see Resident Evil 4, the OG one back in the day, GameCube version, and to see this remake, like we see the graphics like this with the remake, you have a better immersiveness to the game. You have a better connection with the story, I feel, because now that we can actually see this stuff and we're like this stuff look more realistic, we're more immersed and more engaged in the game. And I feel like what they did with this Resident Evil 4 remake gave us that ability to really make us feel like we're there because and I think that's how graphics play a really big part on games. Because back in the day, this game was amazing, still fun. Even to this day, it's still a fun game. To this day, to this day, real talk, it's still a really fun game. And to see the graphics and the performance operate how it is, make it an even better game. So I think this game more like proof in the pudding of when you have a great game that can stand the test of generations of time, you just sauce up the graphics in a little bit, performance and all those things, keep the story, of course, add more value to the story, like I said previously before. But to see these like this is just proof that, this is a great game, period. I would say this is going to hold the standard and the bar for any other, especially like, what I'm saying, zombie shooters, third person, first person, whatever. Any other game that comes now for as a remake, oh, you're gonna have to like this has raised the bar for remake games, and I'm very happy with Capcom and what they've done for the Resident Evil 4 remake. It's a beautiful thing. The story, like I said before, tying it into the graphics. I love the immersiveness now because the environment, the worlds look very like gorgeous. Like look at the details on this, bro. Look at that. Like when I was playing this, when the dude, if y'all here looking at this right now, audio viewers, you got to swing on over there to the YouTube channel, Mastermind RGTV, and you're looking at what we're looking at. So if you see this, like when I'm walking through this bridge, dodging these zombies and everything, I feel like I'm actually there because I feel like I'm more connected because of the graphics. You know what I'm saying? Especially, let's talk about the 3D audio. When you have the 3D audio on a PlayStation 5, listen. Now, playing with 3D audio on scary games, whole nother level. I can only imagine the VR perspective or whatever on Resident Evil, but the 3D audio in this game was really like, the audio purity is good. So switching over to the 3D audio, like again, immersiveness, very amazing. You can hear the crunch of the leaves, like when he's walking, his footsteps. I love the shadows, you know what I'm saying? The details, the lighting. Like this game do a lot of great things that I feel like all the fans of Resident Evil 4 wanted to see. Control wise, playing the demo really helped me to kind of get me comfortable with the controls. So I was really happy to see that. This scene right here, real fast. Let's pop into the video. This scene that's going on right here. I was trying to remember this part from the GameCube version because I was thinking, that garden and it's a garden part that's on here, and Ada come in and do something, but this was like I think this was like a new cutscene or whatever that was added in. But then the more I started to play the game, I was like, oh, I remember this. It's just a little bit different because Ashley look a little bit different. Again, the graphics way different. Even on the cutscenes, the graphics is better. You know what I'm saying? So it's like even some parts that's really not familiar end up being familiar in the game. So that was pretty incredible to see and pretty incredible to experience because I'm re-experiencing the story of Resident Evil 4, and I'm a really big Resident Evil 4 fan. So I was all in for it, man. Um, Going back to controller, the demo did a great job at introducing me to the control of the game because it's different. You know what I'm saying? So coming in on day zero and day one was like, okay, gotta get a little bit used to the controllers, but I got it locked in. I got it locked in for sure. Had a little struggle playing boss battles. One of the boss on here, man. Shout out to everybody being in the chat with me over there at Twitch, man. I struggled with what's the boss guy with the pirate hat, like the captain hat or whatever, the short guy, Mr. Kennedy. That guy to be talking like that. Yo, listen, man, I struggled against that boss right there, man, and struggle wasn't even I died probably 15 times or more fighting that boss. So just little things like that, it's definitely a challenging game. And anytime you have a remake of a game that makes you feel re-immersiveness to the story, the controls is a little bit different. The environment looks better. So these new elements and you already have the great element of a great game surrounded by these different elements. I think puts you in for a good time to have a good time on a great game. Let me make sure my microphone volume is. I had to turn it down on the pre-show because it was just way ridiculously too loud. Okay, but control is pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? Graphics amazing. Story still stayed to its roots. Honestly, Rand, I would give this game a 10 out of 10. The only thing I would detract a point from this game is the mercenary mode. Not the mercenary mode, I'm sorry. The motion blur effects. Those. Speaking of mercenary mode, let's dive right to the mercenary mode for a quick swing second. So, let me pull up my mercenary video. Hold on, let me see. Yo, again, man, y'all follow me on Twitch, man. That's 23 man. YouTube, Mastermind RGTV. I'm telling you, man. Listen, the mercenary mode. I am the truth. I am the truth in the mercenary mode. I was so happy when they brought the mercenary mode back, and so this is the thing. One of the things I got a little pet peeve about the mercenary mode. They only gave us 3 stages. I was hoping for another map, and I'm like, yo, where's my other map? You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping, they over time kind of add maps on and add more characters to the mercenary mode. I think doing that would really keep people engaged in playing Resident Evil 4. But if they keep it at 3 maps, y'all dropped the ball, man. Y'all dropped the ball. That's if they keep it at 3 maps. I'm thinking this is what they're gonna probably do. Maybe drop them like seasons or DLCs. You know what I'm saying? Because I got the exclusive, like the full edition for Resident Evil 4, yo. So I'm hoping that we get something like a seasonal or like a DLC. It comes out every month or so. That would be dope. And like I said, to continue to add value to a remake game is important, because if you do that, you're just gonna make the game better than it already is. And this game has done records. I'm talking about crazy records. It is doing numbers, and I love to see remake games like this do numbers. Check out Louise with the bat, with whatever it is, like a pole or a bat or something. And that's another thing. Talk about remembrance of playing the mercenary modes. I don't remember Louise, that special move. that I just did. I don't remember the old Luis on the old Resident Evil 4 doing that. If he did, I don't know. But this mercenary mode, by the graphics being how it is, the dynamic of the technology, meaning you get more zombies, the AI is a lot more smarter. With those things coming to play, makes it a even more fun game to play. We gotta talk about speed. We gotta talk about speed. This won't even be a great conversation if we don't bring up the speed. Listen, y'all. There's barely any load time in this game. Barely. As soon from the moment, hold up. Let's take this back. From the moment, let's stop this video and go to another video. From the moment you start this game up, it's ready to go. Like, let's see, can I find one I'm like starting up? Like, they didn't amazing. This is the speed on it. That was like my first impression, right here. Now watch this. I'm probably on here talking some smack. If you see me on here talking and everything, oh yeah, I'm on here talking my smack. Yeah, I know how we get. We talking our smack. So look, let's go to the. Let me fast forward a little bit. Right here. From the moment you start the game, let's see. Okay, Okay, I'm taking a look at the controls. I'm probably changing it up. So actually, let's speak on this. Let's speak on this real fast. This part right here, inside the settings. Pretty cool to have more settings we can kind of mess around with, you know, finagle with the controller. Something cool I discovered in the settings is like motion sensor with the controller. Yo, that was fire. I'm not that good at playing with it, but it was fire. Nice feature to have. That was pretty cool. Let's go through that. Ray tracing, HDR mode, all that stuff cool. Watch this. Continue. Watch this. Boom. It's done loading. It's done. What, 3 seconds? I just haven't hit X. The thing's like, it still loads up, but it gives you the opportunity to hit X before that bar even fills up. And when that bar fills up, it basically hit X for it. Basically hit the X button for you. The speed is crazy. I remember back in the day, we get ready to load games up and everything. Yo, we can go use the bathroom, fix us some juice or whatever. Come back, the game's still loading. This game loads up in almost 3 seconds. Incredible. No matter what you're doing, no matter what performance mode, resolution mode, mercenary mode, it loads up in seconds. Amazing job with the speed. Very impressive. Like I said, if you like, since the story mode was already good, the graphics is already impressive, the load time speed is already impressive. I can't really say the controllers are like the number one thing. I'm a little strict on controllers. I'll probably throw controllers out of my grades when I start grading games. I'll probably take the controller because I'm really strict on controllers. Controller, like, if your controller have issues, I usually grade controllers pretty high. But if I have some issues with your controller on playing the game, it takes me a little minute to get used to it. Oh, my little one's on this video with me. But if it takes me a little time to get used to it, you know what I'm saying, I may have to, your controller sucks. I may give it a bad grade. But other than that, you feel what I'm saying, the controller was decent. It was decent. It felt more loose on the demo than on the real game a little bit, but I like the overall movement mechanics of the game, so I think that was an amazing thing to see. I would honestly have to give this game a 10 out of 10, man. It's hard to give it like anything lower than a 9.5. And the only reason I would probably even give it a 9.5 is the mere fact of the motion blur. But everything else, from the sound, graphics, story, control, amazing game. A really amazing game. I would say, if you haven't had a chance to check out Resident Evil 4 franchise, any Resident Evil game, still pick it up, because you're getting your hands on one of the best told stories of the Resident Evil franchise, I feel. And even outside, if you're looking for a great story mode, pick it up. Even outside the story, if you're looking to have a good time, even on zombies, mercenary mode, try it. It's good, still good. If you're looking for a good story mode, you know what I'm saying, or just a horror game and just want to get indulged into it, pick it up still. Like, this game does a great job in multiple spaces of entertaining you. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely recommend it. Like I said, I'll be back in here probably for 2 or 3 more segments due to the fact that I feel like we're gonna get more mercenary maps. If we don't, I'm gonna come in here and talk about it. The cutscenes at the end of the game, maybe we got some secret cutscenes. If we do or we don't, I'm gonna come in here and talk about it. So stay tuned for that. And look, man, I'm still playing the game, and y'all know. Listen, back in the day on the GameCube version, I beat the game on professional mode. Games back in the day was a little bit, I don't know. It's definitely a nice little talk, because I think some games back in the day was a little bit easier than games is now, but some games is now easier than games was back then. Or I was probably just a better player at the game than I am now. Can I see myself playing this game on professional mode? Yes, but probably not as successful as I was back playing it on GameCube. I've beat this game numerous of times on GameCube back in the day. The challenge for me is to try to do that and mimic that here with the remake. So I'm up for a challenge. I can't wait to beat the game and replay the game with new game, plus get all the weapons and all that, the rocket launcher. Like, yo, I remember there's like a machine, like a Tommy gun on here. Yo, one of my favorite guns on this game. So I'm hoping I get that gun or see that gun on New Game Plus or whatever. The Killer 7, that was another fire. Like, yo, that gun is fire, yo. The Ada mode edition, they haven't mentioned anything about that. I mean, like I said, I haven't beat the game yet. They may come unlocked once you beat the game. But I haven't really been seeing anybody playing the Ada mode. But I'm excited for it, man. I can't wait to beat it so I can play the other different modes, like the Ada modes. Even what's the dude, Honk, whatever, the guy with the gas mask, he had a special little mode too. So I'm hoping they like really, really, really go into depth with a lot of like side quest stuff that's on this game. You got Ada mode, you got the Hulk mode, whatever that guy name is, that he's like a secret agent for Raccoon City or whatever. You got his mode, but I haven't seen anybody playing it. Like I said, this stuff may be released once you beat the game. Hope so. Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself like now, like, yo, if the Ada mode is on here, then I wonder, are they gonna add they gotta add the other stages, because Ada's not even on the mercenary mode, and I think you get to play with Ada on the old one. So yeah, and even Whisker, if I'm not mistaken, Whisker. See, now I'm gonna have to go back in the vault and pull out the old Resident Evil 4 and see, because I could have sworn Ada and Whisker, you get a chance to play with Ada and Whisker on the old Resident Evil 4. I could have sworn you have. So we're missing some stages and we're missing some characters. I hope they come in and correct that and fix that and give us that or whatever. But we're gonna probably come back in here for another 2 segments talking about that. But seeing the fact that, like, hats off, round of applause for Resident Evil 4 remake. I'm praying that we get Resident Evil 5 remake. I really, really, really do. Like I said, this is one of the best stories out of the Resident Evil franchise. We got it. It's here. It's amazing to see that, you know what I'm saying, I'm even here reviewing this, because I wasn't able to review this game and elaborate my passion for this game like I had 10, 20, 15 years ago, whenever when it's back on GameCube. So I'm pumped, man. I'm actually finna go play a little bit as soon as we end this show. But man, this has been an amazing game. One of my favorites of all time. I don't really have anything else to really say about it other than just see you. I'm gonna go play. But be sure to follow me on Twitch. We actually finna go play this for real, for real. Follow me on Twitch, man. Master23Mind. YouTube, Mastermind RGTV. For all my audio podcast listeners out there, y'all know where we at, man. And all my video viewers out there, man. We on podcasts everywhere, Real Gamer. Even though Spotify done kicked us out the house, man, we still got a couch. We just lounging around on the podcast networks on different ones. iHeartRadio, holla at your boy. Get down. Prodigy in the building, baby. Shout out to the home team. We here, we there, we everywhere, baby. We out. Y'all game on, man. And stay tuned for the main shows. We took a little break off the main shows, man. We took a little break off the main shows. I got a lot going on. A lot of exciting stuff popping up. But this has been the Resident Evil 4 remake full breakdown review from your boy, man. We out. It's been a audio experience, y'all. See y'all, audio fans. Yeah, I know we got to get an audio fans some special sauce. Even though I think Spotify cut me at about 28 minutes. It's all cool though, video fans. Y'all get the extra stuff over here, the extra sauce. We out, man. Love is love. Peace.